Good morning again, everyone. Welcome back to the KSR YouTube channel. Another day on Mullet. The thrash continues. We are cranking away on this thing, almost ready to paint the interior. And then while the interior paint is drying, we're gonna run it up, put the transmission in it. Transmission can go in for the final time. All of the pieces are assembled to it. We've got our speed sensor. Actually, this is just a 90-degree cable adapter, but the speed sensor is here for the gear vendor's overdrive. It's gonna end up bolted over here so it stays nice and secure. All of our sensors and fittings, and we've got our stuff figured out to hook the lines up. Travis and I are working on the throttle pedal, which you can see is gonna come out right there under that's the throttle pedal coming out right there. But cranking away, lots and lots of progress happening. It's gonna really look like a lot of progress when we bolt the entire interior back in once this thing's painted and all assembled. So we appreciate everybody watching the channel and subscribing. The Everything Needs a Turbo shirts were a big hit, and they are still available for pre-order. And even after we get the pre-orders in, we will have a limited number of those on the website. So if you like those, here's a picture of them right now. And then if you guys come to Bradenton Cletus and Cars, we will also have them there. But we're gonna get cranking on this thing and bring you guys along for the ride. All right, well, the interior is painted. See if we can see up in there on the floor. It's all nice and pretty. Painted where we worked on the rear seat mount, all of the throttle pedal, and that bracketry is painted. Fire tab pull handle, or fire pull handle tab is painted. Went ahead and painted underneath the floor. Get that little bit of textured finish to it. But we are ready to put transmission in for the final time. Woohoo! And Lee has just showed up with the Viper. Always busy around here. So that's backing in. So we're gonna get that unloaded and get in the lift for, we're just gonna change the fluids in it, measure pad thickness, a few other little things here and there. So we are going to time lapse the transmission installation. And the drive shaft also gets here tomorrow. So we'll show that in the next video, but it's a pretty special drive shaft. We are cranking now. All right, we are back at it this morning. Interior installation begins. You can see how it looks with all of the painting done. So, not gonna lie, there's some spots that my OCD is pulling at me.
No.
But we just don't have time. And normally when you like paint a cage the first time, like we did with the front, you try to get everything done on it to try and get all the brackets, all the tabs, everything, and then you do a paint, because when you come back and paint again, you end up having to sand and blend like the areas where you sanded the paint back off to weld something on. And then to really make it look nice, you end up having to repaint all of the cage, but it'll look really good. You know, to 95% of people, it's gonna look great. And we've got the high traffic areas like the door bar here. We're actually gonna put some carbon fiber protectors on, probably this area here. You can see kind of like some of the little nicks I was talking about. Travis is starting with the fire bottle installation. And we are gonna throw the interior back in this thing. And that starts our day. Alright, so I ran over to the gas station a few minutes ago just to grab me a candy bar and a soda. Needed a little energy after being up late last night and then getting down here early this morning. Needed a little extra kick. And I come back to a box. Our nice drive shaft box. I did open it, I will admit to that, but I didn't take it out yet. But I do know what's inside of the box. Whoop, can't forget about the light. Let's see what we got inside the box here. Let's see if this actually comes out of here. Ooh, it's gonna come out of the inner too. All right, there's our drive shaft. If you can't tell, that's a carbon fiber drive shaft from PST down in Clearwater. We've used these quite a bit in some other builds. The Lawn Dart's got one, my car's got one, a few other cars we've done. So these drive shafts have the option of buying a lifetime warranty on them for $100 extra, which is a good deal. And the great thing about carbon fiber drive shafts is if you ever have a failure with one, they just literally explode and turn into dust and strands and shrapnel. Instead of, if you fail a steel or aluminum drive shaft, you now have a giant battering ram slamming around inside of the middle of your car and tearing up everything you've worked so hard and put all of your time and effort and money into. So yes, they're quite a bit more expensive than a steel or an aluminum drive shaft. However, the damage they can prevent is well worth the extra expense. Yeah, I mean, just for personal protection, you know, I don't want a drive shaft trying to come through the floor and tear me up while I'm racing down a racetrack, because we all know things break in race cars. It happens. So I'm going to see if this thing will go in the car. Hopefully my measurements were correct, and we will be one step closer. So one thing I do recommend with carbon shafts, you just have to be careful not to scratch or dent them. And I'm going to get a little bit of WD-40. Oh no, the seal's pre-lubed. We're good. So I just make sure I'm careful not to scratch the shaft or put a big ding in it. Go in there. That's a tight fit. There we go. Like a glove. Perfect fit. Who's calling me? All right, well, I'm gonna tighten this up and then get on to the next thing. All right, so lots and lots of stuff's been happening. Saw all the driver's side get assembled. I think I'm getting a cold, possibly. So driver seats in, shifters in, parachute handles in, fire bottles in, and started plumbing it. Dashes in, brake pedals in, throttle pedals in. The covers for the holes in the firewall are in, or the transmission tunnel. The transmission cooler is in and plumbed. I'm working on routing the line for the turbo oil feeds now. It's going to connect back here where the oil pressure sensor is also going to be. So a little adapter right there comes up. The oil feed line will go across, you can see where we brought our throttle cable out. And the throttle pedal's a little, kind of a little custom. So the throttle cable or throttle pedal, you can see kicks over, angled, and pulls from about the center of the tunnel. It looks kind of weird in the video that I'm watching through the camera lens, but it pulls pretty straight out of the hole. We only need 2 inches of travel up there to activate the throttle all the way, and that's about 2.5 inches of pedal travel. So it'll have kind of a nice, you know, progressive, hopefully it'll have a nice kind of progressive feel on the throttle pedal. And we're going to pull the front end back off and finish the mounts for the radiator. And then probably then once we do that, we'll go ahead and do the radiator plumbing. Chipping away at it. Big progress, but lots more to come.